Pô, câmera já de não tem TP, não é? Tem que ir a pé mesmo. Deixa eu ir escalando aqui, Homem-Aranha. Homem-Aranha. Ah não, caí. Dá pra subir aqui, dá. Vamos subir aqui. Eu tô fazendo a missão certa, né? Mar de nuvens e mar de pessoas. Cadê? Ah, tá ali, não precisa subir pelas rochas, não. Ué, o carinha nem tem nome, não. Nem esse. Ih, tá mó briga ali, viu? Na entrada.
It's shocking how much work there is to do, even for the three of us.
Essa aqui é a missão da Ganyu, né?
And she's been handling it alone all along. The Chising secretary clearly isn't an ordinary person. It's so frustrating.
Huh? You're...
Sou eu, sim. É Bao Wen, né? Ai.
Aren't you Ningguang's servants? How come you're here?
We are Miss Ningguang's private secretaries, not
Não
servants.
serventes, secretária.
Have you seen Miss Ganyu, traveler?
É, da Ganyu.
It has been several days since Ganyu left for Joyun Karst. She's the general secretary of the Liyue Chising. We've only taken over her responsibilities until she gets
Aconteceu
back.
porque ela foi para o relevo de né?
Even though the Chising have made peace with the Adepti after the latter had denounced Liyue, they still want to pay their respects to the Illuminated Ones. They commissioned Ganyu as their envoy to deliver a letter to Joyun Karst and bring the Adepti the latest news about the crisis.
Sobre a
Still,
crise.
Ganyu should have been back to her usual responsibilities by now, but she's disappeared without a trace.
Ih, rapaz.
Is that so? Maybe Ganyu just took a little detour. Who can blame her after working so hard?
I'm afraid it's not very likely. Ever since we met Ms. Ganyu, she's been nothing but the most conscientious person in all of Liyue. Even when it's time for her annual leave, Ms. Ganyu stays on duty at Yuehai Pavilion saying there is still so much to do. She could
Ainda há mais
possibly
o
be
que
using her
fazer.
mission as an excuse to slack off.
Oh, Paimon sees how it is. But she's half Adeptus. She wouldn't get in trouble, right? Why do you look so upset?
It's because of this absurd workload of hers. When we first heard the three of us would be taking over for Miss Ganyu, we thought it would simply be a matter of changing our work environment.
We couldn't have imagined that Miss Ganyu's daily workload far exceeds what the three of us are used to doing.
A linhagem dos adeptos é realmente excepcional. Você não deveria voltar ao trabalho?
We don't even know how long we've been working. We feel guilty for taking even a short breather like we are now.
Looks like you got a serious emergency on your hands.
Speaking of Joyun Karst, traveler, I've heard that you can go in and out of there as you please.
Of course, we've been there lots of times.
That's good news. Could you go to Joyun Karst and find Miss Ganyu for us? Preferably before we collapse under this workload.
Parece que eu sou a única pessoa que pode de fato. Pode, né? De fato. Eu farei isso. Vidas estão em risco aqui.
We're saved. I remember Miss Ganyu said that she'd be visiting Cloud Retainer's abode.
Aventura.
You might as well start looking for her there.
Mas ela não deve
It's
estar lá.
about
Já
time
passou
she
tantos
came back
dias.
to work. Otherwise,
Nossa, as secretárias vão tudo para morrer,
and
velho.
bring up our overtime pay again.
Horas extras. Mar de nuvens, mar de pessoas. Cadê onde é?
Ganyu left to visit Cloud Retainer. Doesn't she live in Mel Outsong?
Cadê a montanha que ela tá? Tirar o zoom, tá com zoom. Tem o TP aqui, vambora. Missões.
We should hurry up. Paimon hopes we can
Pai,
find
você
her
tá
there.
falando o que, pai? A gente tá no TP. A pai não começa a falar. Ela não deve estar lá não, talvez a retentura esteja. Né? Que TP é esse aqui, meu Deus do céu? Ah. E aqui. Cadê? Era fantástico. Olha as nuvens. Tá, eu tô na parte de trás. Pô, ela vai estar lá na ponta? Ela estaria aqui no meio, não? É ali que bota a oferenda pra entrar? Ah, é ali que entra lá. Do domínio, né? Porque ela estaria na ponta do... Olha lá. Ali é ela? Ali é ela, né? Ela tá pensando na vida, pô. Trabalhando tanto. Sobe.
Person standing over there. That's Ganyu.
Finalmente encontramos ela. Só encontramos ela, pô. Só procurou uma vez.
Ganyu, here you are.
You two. I did not expect to meet you here. Is it official or private affairs that bring you here? I shouldn't. I have left the human world. Please contact the Yua High Pavilion regarding matters concerning
Deixou o
the
mundo
commercial board.
mando. Isso parece diferente.
Huh? You don't want to be the Chising secretary anymore? But they're all waiting for you to come back.
That's why you're here? You want me to come back? I'm afraid you came here in vain.
What?
Ih,
Did
rapaz.
something happen?
The clouds fold and unfold. The tide ebbs and flows. It was meant to be. When the Adepti entrusted humans with overseeing Liyue, I knew it was only a matter of time until I had to leave.
Nossa senhora. E agora?
My Adepti blood makes me unwelcome in Liyue Harbor. I delivered the letter and came back to Liyue Harbor, only to discover that I had been replaced by Baiwen, Baishao, and Baishu. Perhaps that mission of mine was just a pretext to remove
Ué.
me. Since the Chising gave me a chance to leave with dignity,
Mas não, minha
I
tia.
decided to be tactful as well.
Você demorou muito, por isso que elas se substituíram. Eu acredito que houve um grande mal-entendido, ninguém quer se livrar de você.
I appreciate your kindness, but there's no need for your words of comfort. After 1,000 years away, I came back to Juyun Karst. Looking at the clouds floating among the mountains brings me peace of mind. I feel better now.
But
Who disturbs the peace of these mountains?
Nossa, ela. Toda de nuvens.
Cloud Retainer, we're terribly sorry. We just...
One merely jests. One felt your presence the moment you set foot upon this land.
Claro que sentiu.
Wow, you Adepti really are impressive.
Come here to chat about the old times with Ganyu. It looks like you get along quite well.
Vamos falar sobre os velhos tempos. Nos conhecemos bem.
Ah, a matter leaves you at an impasse then. Not to worry. One is exceptional at seeking avenues for conversation. One has been one's own companion in idle talk for many a year. Ah,
Yuan.
yes. Since you are Ganyu's friends,
Opa,
tales from her
história.
youth shall one apprise you of, perhaps?
Pode contar, pode contar.
Oh, Cloud Retainer.
Nothing to be ashamed of. You were so cute as a child. One is most certain that your friends would like to hear of it.
Sim, estou curioso. É um tópico muito interessante.
Paimon wants to hear it.
Será que é cutscene, velho?
Little Ganyu
Ah,
loved
não
when
é.
the horns on the top of her head were caressed. When one was still taking care of her, one was pestered most often to touch her horns. She was elsewise loath to sleep.
Wow.
Plump she was back then. Why, when she stumbled while we ascended the mountain, she would roll down to the bottom like a little ball.
Nossa senhora. Não pode dar graça.
The day Ganyu bumped into a pilgrim was the first time she saw a real human in the flesh. So fearful she was that she hid in a rock's cleft for 2 days and nights. One found her wailing of a monster she had seen.
Cloud Retainer? Forget it. It's about time for my training. I will take my leave.
Vai pra onde? Se foi. É, parece que é ganho. É ganho o nome dela? Está um pouco irritada. Parece que você tá. Que você falou não era adequado, né?
Ah, One's intention was merely to relieve the awkward tension.
And you did the exact opposite. Impressive.
Be that so? Huh. But returning to Ganyu, most gladdened one is of your arrival.
Tá preocupada
One
com ela,
cannot
é?
help but feel that remaining in Jueyun Karst shall not be good for her. One will tell you more about her, if you should permit it.
Pode contar cutscene agora?
Most benevolent among all Adepti are the Qilin. They drink only spring water and eat only whole grain. But perhaps the mountainous dwellings of Adepti in Jueyun Karst might be too lonely for her human side. Under moonlight did one see her last. She stood by the precipice's edge, and upon the mist-veiled mountains she gazed. Her thin figure was immersed in the vast sea of clouds. One noticed her loneliness, and sought to convince her to go back to the human world. But just then, she said thus.
Liyue Harbor feels even lonelier than Jueyun Karst. When I look at the sea of clouds in Jueyun Karst, I merely feel the loneliness of a solitary cloud gazer. When I step into the sea of people in Liyue, I feel the loneliness of an inhuman that doesn't belong in the human world.
Nossa.
One did, by chance, hear this much of Ganyu's thoughts. Alone, she will find her predicament hard to conquer. One hopes that you will accompany
Claro,
her.
a gente acompanha ela, claro.
Oh, Retainer's right. We can't leave Ganyu depressed like that. Besides, Liyue hasn't given up on her. She's got it all wrong. Anyways, what's that training Ganyu is talking about?
É.
She has sought to reclaim her Adeptus side since returning to Jueyun Karst. At her behest, one has organized training for her to achieve that end.
She should be in the southern part of Mount Aotsong right now, preparing for the trial.
Huh, is that so? Let's go take a look then.
Vamos dar uma olhada. História é muito bom, velho. Onde é isso aqui, velho? É longe? Ah, vou dar um TP do lado, mas eu vou dar esse TP bem curto pra chegar. É muito bom a historinha, velho. Rapaz, eu não sei se tá longo esse vídeo, acho que tá não, só conversando um pouquinho. Só tem um diálogo, cadê ela? Tá ali embaixo. Tô chegando, meu filho, tô chegando. Fique triste não.
So here you are, Ganyu.
Why did you come here?
Querendo lhe fazer companhia, você também gostaria de, eu também gostaria de experimentar, né?
Is that so? You really are interested in the ways of Adepti. This trial was prepared by Cloud Retainer. Its goal is to help me feel like an Adeptus again.
Ah, ela que assistiu adepto, novamente, né?
The
Piti, né?
training is much to her signature style. I hope it won't make it seem like she is too unaware of the abilities of others.
Is it difficult?
É difícil?
No,
Pô,
I'm aware of your strength, Traveler. The power hidden within you is not inferior to mine. If you're ready, we shall begin the training.
podemos começar aí, desafio. Então, né? Tela preta, tá carregando alguma coisa. Meu Deus do céu! Pô, eu apertei o botão errado, cara. Trocando o botão do mouse dá nisso. Qual é o próximo? Não tô me enxergando. Desce, meu. Pô, demora pra descer. Aê. Ah, eu vou subir aqui.
There's a lot of gliding around. It does feel like something Cloud Retainer would come up with.
Cadê o negócio? Tá ali. Tô chegando. Pô, tá muito branco aqui, velho. Vamos subir pra onde? Pra isso aqui. Aquele ali não ativou, não. Ativou, cadê o outro? Errei. Ativou, ativou.
Really awesome shooter.
If you could see through the eyes of an Adeptus, you wouldn't be so surprised.
Tava muito claro. Ah, não acertei. Ai, nossa, ainda bem que tinha um ventinho ali. Ah, aquele ali também já ativei já daqui. Subiram. Vamos pra ali. São 3. Só subir em cima desse aí que tá caindo. Só subir em cima dele. Acho que não vai dar não. Vamos. Não! Eu apertei espaço, minha amiga. Ela se jogou pra baixo. Faça isso comigo não. Subir isso aqui de novo vai ser tenso. A gente só deu uma volta praticamente. Terminamos. Cadê ela?
We've completed the task.
Acho que seria um bom adepto, né? Ser um adepto não é fácil.
I agree. You possess many qualities similar to those of Adepti, despite having none of their blood.
Ganyu, what were you planning to do once your training was over?
The training's not over yet. The part prepared by Cloud Retainer is only the first trial.
Huh? So there are more trials prepared by other Adepti?
É do formatador de montanha, o próximo é do escultor de montanha.
No. The only Adeptus who can unlock my true potential is
Who is it?
Conqueror of Demons.
Conquistador de demônios?
So it's Shell. That cold-hearted loner? How come he's prepared a trial
Que
for you?
surpresa. Interessante, né?
I found
Interessante.
him unapproachable at first too. But I believe that being able to face him is an important part of my homecoming.
Nossa, a gente vai lutar contra ele?
He's
Tá.
already waiting for me. Come along if you're interested.
Eu vou com a
Of course we
senhorita.
are. Let's go.
Bora, pai. É claro que a gente vai, né? A Besta Iluminada do Mar de Nuvens. É claro, no próximo, no próximo.